This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, y'all. We got a couple new people, got some regulars and some people we haven't seen in a while. So welcome, welcome. Sorry I was gone last time. I had an MRI at 6:45 in the morning, and then my dog injured herself, and I was emotionally and physically spent. So it was nothing to give that night. So I have energy tonight because I had my infusion yesterday. So all the energy you see, that is drug induced from the Medrol, the Solumedrol. Okay. So welcome, welcome. All right, let's go ahead and do introduction. So I like to usually ask. I'll start out. I am Kim. I'm from Des Moines, Iowa. I have relapsing remitting, diagnosed in 2012. Currently on Ocrevus, and I might want to have some time to talk. Let me know if you need time to talk. If you're new, we'll give you time to talk anyway. So let's start out with Big Red. Welcome, welcome.
That would be me. My name's Jennifer, and I'm from Richmond, Indiana. Abagio. I was diagnosed in 2019, and yes, I'll probably want to talk.
Okay, thank you and welcome. Let's go with John. Welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm John. I live in Central West Michigan. I know that's a really apt description, but if I say Big Rapids, people are like, wait, Grand Rapids? No. I'm on Zeposia. I was diagnosed with RRMS in 2016. And Kim, I would love a little bit of time today. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, John. Okay, Frank, welcome and introduce yourself, please.
I'm Frank Austin. I am from Plainville, Kansas. I was diagnosed in 1997. I'm not on anything, and I have secondary progressive MS. And oh, by the way, I probably ought to tell somebody I spent a couple of days in the hospital. So it happens when you get dehydrated, you know.
Yeah, don't do that, Frank. Dehydration is not good. Did you need time tonight, Frank?
Now, I've said all I need to say.
Okay, thank you. Cory, welcome for the first time. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name's Cory. I'm from Huntington, Indiana, and I was diagnosed with MS in February of 2021, and it's been a shocker. So,
Are you currently on a medication for MS?
oh yeah, I do my Ocrevus twice a year.
Okay, you're on the Ocrevus. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to give you some time tonight since you're a newbie to the group.
All
Welcome.
right, thank you.
Roxana, welcome and please introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you. My name is Roxana. I live in Toronto, Canada, and I was diagnosed December 2022, and I was diagnosed with RMS, and I started my DMT with Tecfidera for now.
Okay, thank you. Welcome for joining us for the first time. And then we're going to head over to Christy. Christy, welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Christy. I am from Brighton, Colorado. I was diagnosed back in 2003. I am currently on Ocrevus, and I have secondary progressive. And yes, I would like some time to take these.
Okay, all right. We're going to start out with Cory first since he is new. Cory, welcome to the group. If you want to
Thank
tell
you.
us a little bit about yourself at all, and because you are brand new to the group, I like to open it up to ask whatever questions you have. Did you have a group of us here? Because a lot of times when people first come to the group, they have burning questions they want to find out about. So the floor is yours. Oh,
Well,
before you start, I'm going to interrupt. Carmen, Roxana is new tonight. She is from Toronto, so you're not the only Canadian tonight.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself quick, Carmen, and then we'll start with Cory, who's brand new tonight.
Oh, hi, sorry, I'm late again, as
hi.
usual. I'm Carmen from Canada, from Kelowna, British Columbia, and I have primary progressive MS. I was diagnosed in 2014, I think. I'm on Ocrevus. I have been on Ocrevus since 2017, and I will just jump in if I have stuff to say. I don't know.
Okay.
Same old, same old. Thank you.
Thanks, Carmen. Okay, sorry about that interruption, Cory. Go ahead, start.
Oh no, I was yeah, I got diagnosed in 2021 with it, and it's been a struggle for me. I mean, I think that first 6 months, I kind of, I don't want to be bedridden. I don't. And, when you hear about that stuff, you're thinking you're going to live in a bed, in the next 5, 10 years, and it scares me. And I spent the first 6 months debating whether or not I wanted to commit suicide or not. And then I kind of got over that, and it's just been a struggle for me, as in, I shake all the time. My legs, I mean, my legs are constantly shaking all the time. I can't stand and do anything. And it's just real frustrating. And I'd like to know if anybody else has that problem.
I think Christy would be an amazing person to respond to that one.
Mm, So let me just tell you, like I said, I was diagnosed in 2003, and I was straight for 17 years. And then all of a sudden in 2020, I started getting spasticity and spasms, and I couldn't control the spasms. It was pretty, and they hurt. They hurt so bad. I'd never experienced anything like that. Um, so through a bunch of like doctor's appointments and going through everything, the only way we could tame it was I was taking oral baclofen and tizanidine. Then I got in contact with a pain doctor, and he implanted what is called a baclofen pump, and that completely stopped like my leg shaking and spasms, and it released my spasticity, and you know that has been a godsend. I've had like moments of spasms here and there, but not like I used to. Um, Now, I don't want you to freak out about it, but um, with me, it was a lot to do with um, unknowledgeable neurologist that I was with, and it caused like I was changing medications, and it caused a whole bunch of problems for me. So now I'm in a wheelchair, 100% dependent, but I try not to let it like bring me down. Yeah, at first it really brought me down, but you know what? I'm good with it now. So I don't want you to get too concerned about your spasms. Just talk to your neurologist, and they can help you get on the correct medication or direct you to somewhere that, like with like they did, my doctor did with me, to a pain specialist, and he can, or he or she can help get you on the correct medication.
Yeah, see, I don't have any pain with mine. I have no pain at all. I want no pain
Okay.
medicines. I don't want anything. I do exactly what my neurologist tells me to do. Uh,
Hmm.
like I said, I shake. My legs are shaking all the time, and I have a hard time standing. I'm so dizzy all the time. I mean, I'm just off balance. My peripheral vision's terrible, and I mean, just side to side, and it's just been hard for me, to figure out, to have a new start with stuff. I got to try figuring it out.
Uh,
Well, and
Cory, I've got
the
a
thing is
question
that
for you. Oh, sorry, Christy, go ahead.
that's okay. I was just going to
Yeah,
say, just because I got referred to a pain doctor, I wasn't put on pain medications.
no,
I was referred to them because pain specialist is the only one that is certified to implant the baclofen pump that I had. Now
Okay.
the shaking, I did have shaking. I had shaking in my hands and like my knees, and it wasn't just the spasms, it was shaking on top of it as well. I
I
was just
got
letting you
you.
know about the spasms and the pain I was having. Now, like I said, I've never gotten pain pills or anything from my pain doctor.
Yeah,
Um, it's just that they're the only ones that are certified to if you need a pump for any reason, they're the only ones certified to surgically implant it.
I got you.
So
Like I said,
that's all
I,
that I was trying to.
have been dealing with my neurologist now for a couple years. She seems to, I mean, that the good thing is the last several infusions that I've had and my brain MRIs that I get, there's no
Hmm.
more lesions there. I mean, the
That's good.
Ocrevus seems to be working. I mean, it's kind of putting it at bay, which is the way I understand it was supposed to do. And
Yeah.
so I'm kind of just, I got to deal with what I'm dealt with right now.
Right. And we've all been there before, Cory.
Now, let me
I
ask you
mean,
something.
it is.
When let me ask you something like when you're due up for your Ocrevus, infusion, do you seem to have like more, I don't know, do you seem to struggle a little more before you get it? Or I mean, like, is your
Yes.
time running out, to where everybody's shaking their head, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's known
We
as
all
the
do.
crap gap.
Hmm. What Kim said is it's better. It's known as the crap gap.
Okay.
So a couple weeks, 2, 3 weeks before your next infusion,
Okay.
you feel like crap, and it's the
Okay.
gap between the end of your last infusion and you getting your new infusion.
Awesome. I was
So
curious about it
it's very common.
because my infusion is coming up again in April 9th. So
Okay.
that's, and I don't know, it just kind of seems like it must be wearing off the old one. I get more
Mhm.
shaky and stuff, now. So I was just kind of curious if, maybe my medicine's running out. That's, and, waiting to get the new one.
Uh huh. For sure.
Okay, good.
Um. Yeah. And we all experience that. Um. It's not fun, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah, no kidding.
we just know that it's time. It's almost time for our infusion when we start feeling cruddy. So,
Well, that's good to know because
and
I didn't
yeah.
know.
I also wanted
Um,
to chime in that the medications that Christy was talking about, the baclofen and the tizanidine, those are not technically pain medications, they're muscle relaxants.
I got you.
Okay.
And I really didn't know what an MS support group was, so that's why I wanted to check in and see what happens.
Pretty much we talk about everything and anything. You know,
Gotcha.
we cover the whole gamut of emotions and grief and exciting and terrible. We cover it all. We don't we don't beat around the bush. We're like pretty straightforward, you know.
Yeah,
We'll talk
sure.
about devastating things, and the goal is to create a safe space where people feel comfortable to be vulnerable and to share what they're experiencing. And it's nice to have people that you're like, oh my God, you understand my fatigue, you understand my cognition, you understand all these things. It's really helpful. And then also, you get amazing. I learn every time. I learn new things from other people. Great resources all around. You got people across the country,
mhm.
around the world. It's amazing how people can help each other with resources and learning things about each other. So that's what the group's about. Anyone else want to pipe in too? That was just my 2 cents worth.
Yeah,
I've
for
been
sure.
coming
I
here.
started coming here. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
I was gonna say I've been coming here for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years now. and like I look forward to it because like I need my MS people. There's not a big MS group in like my local area, but in Michigan there are. But they're like a drive away. But coming to this, I just look forward to it because it's refreshing, and I can just say like, "Well, guys, I pooped my pants again," and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, shit'll happen," and we'll commiserate with you and talk about it, and it's just great. I hope you do come back, and then we
Good.
are able to
Yeah.
answer stuff.
Yeah, and I've been coming here for almost 3 years. And the first time I came here, I was so emotional I could barely get out what was going on with me, And as time went by, um, I just realized that everybody's gone through what I'm going through, and I wasn't feeling so lonely, like I was alone in my own fight. So I've learned a lot about my MS, even though I've had it for 21 years.
Yeah.
But I've learned even more. So it's good. It's it's good to be around a community that understands and knows how this fits and how this works. Because you might think one thing like, oh, nobody else has experienced this. I can guarantee you there's one, if not just about everybody who's experienced it at some point.
Something that we talk about, Cory, that you'll hear us all say is like, you might have to fire your neurologist because I don't think any of us are on our first neurologist. Like I fired two of them just to get back to who I was. So part of like looking around for the pain or all of that kind of stuff. I don't know how big your city is, um, but like yeah.
Yeah,
I lost.
I
Train of
go to
thought.
Fort Wayne. I go to Fort Wayne, Indiana, so it's the second biggest city in Indiana.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So that'll be there. That's big enough. Yeah.
Is your neurologist an MS specialist?
Yes.
Okay.
We're all like thumbs up over here.
And I think another thing about this group we talk about is like a lot of us people will come into our group a lot of times when they were on their normal path and they were doing well, and then something happens and their life just kind of turns sideways, and they're just trying to like reprocess it and get their feet under the ground and dealing with new things. So we're always about learning about how to become adaptive and how to deal with all the emotions and grieving through like loss of certain things. And so that's a lot what we do here too. The emotions you will feel in this is all over the gamut, and we're not society spectrum of acceptable emotions are here, but humans emotions is massive. So we experience them
Okay.
all, and we no judging here. That's how it is.
Yeah, I went to Indianapolis there for last year to an MS specialist, and I went down there and I talked to him, and he told me, I explained to him who I was seeing in Fort Wayne, Indiana, or whatever, and he said, "Man," he said, "I'm telling you, stay with her." She said she's great. She was in my class, I taught her, and she does really good. So I decided not to go to Indianapolis, and I'd rather just drive 20 minutes away than an hour away.
Yeah.
So I just decided to stay with this lady here because I don't know anything about MS. I questioned her, when it first happened. Are you sure that's what this is? I'm all over I'm all over the place. And she said yes. And then, like I said, since I've been doing my infusions, it seems like I'm not getting any more lesions on my brain. So, I guess that's kind of good. And then of course, last year I was thinking, man, do I just want to go to Mexico or, because they got a place in Mexico and they got a place in Israel and another place where where they're doing stem cell stuff for MS. And I thought, I'm going to have to take out a loan, to go. But I mean, $55,000 is going to be a lot better than what they're going to charge me over here in the States if it ever happens.
Sure.
And so I decided, but then I got, man, I don't want to go to Mexico. I don't want to lose a liver. I don't want them to take something away from me. And,
Right.
So I decided, I wasn't going to do that, and I talked to my neurologist, and she said them are just studies right now. I mean, there's nothing that's etched in stone, yet. So I kind of just backed out of it, and I'm just kind of dealing with here in the States. Does anybody that has MS, do you guys have a lot of dizziness?
Yes, I will say for me that is uh, my tell that I'm about to go into a flare. I get vertigo,
Okay. And see,
and I always
I'm on that
it
meclizine or whatever, and I
yeah
tried taking it twice a day, and I think it might be helping a little bit. I'm not real sure, but I definitely tried taking it because I noticed when I don't take it, I do get a lot more dizzy.
yeah, and I have issues where just if I move my head too quick,
Okay.
I get like a dizzy spell,
Oh,
and like I like when I go into full vertigo, that's how I know I'm gonna hit a flare.
okay.
It's really weird for me when it goes into full like vertigo. It's horrible, and then I go into like a full flare for maybe a couple of days or a couple of weeks. It all varies. There's never like a definite time frame of how long I'm in that flare. But
Okay.
yeah, that's my tell. I mean, everyone here has their own tells that, kind of tells them that, they're in a flare. So, but yeah, I get dizzy quite often.
Okay.
Anyone else wanted to comment on the dizziness question? Jen, you were shaking your head, yes. Okay. Did you have any other questions, Cory?
No, I don't think so. Not right now. I'm sure I will as I go.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I am noticing we're getting a little bit of feedback from you, Cory. So if you're not talking, if you could mute your microphone, that would be fantastic. Okay, let's go ahead and introduce Mike since he just arrived, and then we'll head to Roxana next. So, Mike, welcome. Introduce yourself, and you are muted. So please unmute yourself first.
Thank you, Kim, for the reminder. I also need to thank Rick for getting me off uh, Arizona time and on to Pacific time. Um, I'm Mike from Arizona, and I've got secondary progressive and had a checkup at Mayo Clinic last week. And I'll talk more about that later.
Okay. Thank you, Mike, and we'll get to you. Glad you made it tonight.
What?
I'm so glad you made it tonight. You were able to make it tonight, that Rick got you on the right time zone.
Right.
So you got to the meeting. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's head over to Roxana, our other new person tonight. Welcome, Roxana. Let us know a little bit about yourself and let us know what questions you have.
Hi, thank you. This is my first time joining a group with other messers. I don't, I haven't been able to get too much into other groups locally. Um, I was diagnosed because my left leg went numb, but it was very weird. After uh, a couple of hours, I'm like, well, wow, this is still not feeling normal. And that's what triggered me going to see the doctor. And I, I don't know, I've always been the kind of person who goes like, it's gonna go away. So, that was my mindset. And then it was still there, but it wasn't as strong as the very first 2 days. And I was still able to move, go anywhere, but it was just uncomfortable. And it took a long time to get diagnosed because we had a family situation happening. So I had to delay my neurologist appointment. So when it finally happened and he tells me that he was looking into, they were after or trying to diagnose me for a mess. I was like, wait, what? It was pretty shocking, and I knew I've heard it before, but I didn't know what it meant when he mentioned it. And I asked him what it was. He said it very broadly, and it sounded scary from the beginning. And then you go online and you go do your own research, and it doesn't get better, right? But uh, slowly, I I was aware of that there's treatment, and I I spoke with my neurologist. He told me, give me a list of uh, DMTs, and he thankfully he went through each and told me the pros and cons. At the beginning, I was gonna do a Baggio, but then they when they enrolled me, they couldn't enroll another person because they were doing some changes in the health system. So then I went ahead and did Tecfidera. I cried on my first pill because it just felt strong. It felt strong. And uh, you start to have this. There was a before and after the MS diagnosis for sure. I didn't realize it because as the days go by, I feel like I'm just living, as it goes. But there's the one day that it hits you. And unfortunately for me, because it was so shocking, it happened so sudden, and I had a meeting right after my talk with the neurologist that first time that he mentioned multiple sclerosis. I told my boss, and it has been terrible. It has been terrible for me. Having told her has been the worst thing I ever did. And I wish I could take it back, but I can't. And I've had a lot of anxiety and slash depression, and a lot of it is because of how things have unraveled with her, with my boss. And I'm sure, at the back of my head, there's always this uncertainty that it comes with the diagnosis. And unfortunately, I cannot take it back, and I don't have the strength to change to go to somewhere else. It just feels like it's there's no point, like like it's gonna happen all over again, and then I don't know. It's just you're in this loop because you want to leave, but at the same time you're scared. And sometimes, when I have events with her, it's uh, with the other, like last month, we also had another one of those talks. And then my leg starts to go a little bit numb, but not completely. But I know it's triggered because of the situation that is happening at the moment. Um, and yeah, I don't really have a question. I just kind of guess just wanted to share how it's been for me, and slowly, yeah, you adjust and move on, but it's not easy, as I'm sure you all know. So thank you
Roxana,
for
I
listening.
just
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that, like, we hear what you're saying, Everything you're saying is super valid. We all felt that way for what, 8 years for me after being diagnosed,
Yeah.
but everything you're saying is valid, and I appreciate you sharing that much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. You cannot say all of this to many people. There, I don't know how to find somebody who understands. So thank you.
Roxana, I just wanted to chime in and say that I feel very empathetic to what you're saying about your interactions with your boss.
Mm,
My boss also knew about my diagnosis, and unfortunately, that caused
mm,
a lot of anxiety and extra stress that was very unfortunate. So I can empathize with you. It's unfortunate the timing
mm,
that you just, that you ended up sharing it, but it's out there now, and I
yeah,
don't know what kind of work you do, but like they can't, I don't know if you have a union or if you have any other kind of employment support, that kind of thing. Like
mm,
you need to be supported at work,
yeah,
so
yeah,
look for kind of resources.
yeah. It's. I'm not. I don't have a union, and it is the ironic part is that my boss is the head of the culture and inclusivity uh, pillar of the office, which is so ironic. So when they send these surveys, I I better don't answer because I have this fear that they're gonna find out it's me writing this, and I have nothing nice to say. And she's a very powerful person in the company because she's a principal, and uh, there is no support. I don't believe in HR. I HR works. We get paid by them, so they be doing nothing. So and I'm just there waiting for the moment where I have the emotional strength to just move on and leave, or I don't know, find a way out of it because I know it's not healthy for me. I know it's not healthy for me being there, but it's nice to know that I'm not the only one that had to deal with this situation, which is not fun at
Yeah.
all.
There
So,
are also labor laws in Canada and employment standards, so that's something
mm,
else. But I know you probably just don't have the energy right now for that, but um, it is something to just keep in mind because
yeah, thank
it's
you.
a tough situation.
Yeah, it sucks, but thank you.
Well, there's another employer that would love to have you because I know
Ah,
that feel. I know that feeling because I was pushed out too when they said they'd have my back and everything. Well, when they started
mm,
seeing the infusion, it's how much it cost. They wanted me out on my medical, so
oh,
and they pushed me out after 13 years. And you know what? Hey, I can move on. And I went somewhere else, and I did join a union, and and they think the world of me. So there's other employers out there that will be happy to have you.
thank you, Corey.
That's very true. Just from my point of view, I never told anybody. It's not that I was ashamed, but I wanted to be defined by my work ethic and my work,
Hmm.
not my quote unquote disease. So, never opened up to my employer as if I was having such a bad time that it was continually affecting my work.
Hmm.
That's the only time that I ever opened up to employers because I did tell when I was first diagnosed,
Ah,
I did tell my employer, and I kind of got a little bit of backlash. And after that, I just told myself I'm not going to tell anybody, and it'll be a need to know basis. And a lot of companies I've worked for, they didn't even know that I had him. So, I just wanted to be recognized for my me and not my disease. Christy Lee.
She shows up on the people, but I don't know if she's having connection issues or not.
Uh,
It sounded like she was getting a phone call.
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a buzz and oops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if she temporarily left, because we have so many people that want to talk, let's go to the next person, and then if she comes back, we can see what's happening. So, Big Red, you're up next, girl.
Hello, that was a good topic.
Excellent
Work,
topic. You
work.
know,
Let me,
the
girl,
debate of do I let the cat out of the bag and I can't put it back into the bag, absolutely.
girl,
Lots of
don't get me started on work, okay? I was at a place that focuses on mental health and addiction. Mental health for 12 years. I worked my ass off, and I ended up having some major issues, and and the doctor said it was stress probably, and I couldn't even write my name. I couldn't, I just couldn't think. I couldn't get the words out. And then that went away. And then I ended up having optic neuritis, total blindness in my right eye, and didn't still know what it was, scared to death. I just, and my boss at the time bullied me. I would get text stating, well, I can't see out of my eye and I'm here. And I'm just like, I work 70 hours a week for this company and I never got sick, never called in. And a place that deals with mental illness, I could not get it. So I just ended up quitting and I found another job. Well, as soon as I got FMLA because I had an issue, I was going in there not going to tell them because I got pushed out of the other job. And then so as soon as I get the FMLA, that's when they pushed me out of this other job. Again, mental health and substance abuse program. And but now I found a job that accepts me. They actually said, Jennifer, take a mental health day off. And I have no problem doing, like, I don't get no backlash. I still feel bad because I'm a workaholic anyways, but um, no problem. Like it was no problem. But I felt that anxiety just a bit, stating that I should be there. I should be working. And, but you're right. Like, hopefully there is a job out there that does listen to you, that can see you're struggling, and it was hard. I gave that place 12 years. I worked so hard, and I still, it still kind of gets to me a little bit because I did work a lot, and you know, I made them one hell of a lot of money too. um, but it just didn't matter because I was weak. Unfortunately, that's what I thought they thought. But um, yeah, that sucked. That just really sucked. But with this support group and going to counseling and work out my grief because I was processing that grief, and that's what it is, because we do get angry, we do get sad, depressed, anxiety. I didn't have issues with anxiety till now. It's hard for me to even conversate sometimes because I'm just like, I'm not processing what they're saying very fast. And it's really agitating sometimes, but that's okay. That's okay. Um, it's this year's 5 years, and when we do lose things, I go, I know when to go to a therapist. I know when I'm having those dark thoughts, and but I recognize that, and I still have a purpose. We all have purpose, even with, if we could just reach somebody with MS, that it's going to be okay, that you're not alone. So I'm very grateful this group. And I think that's all I got. I totally forgot what I really wanted to talk about, but that topic got to me. So just keep your head up. Um, I'm glad you guys are here, and that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to comment before we move on to the next person?
What does FMLA stand for? I just wanted to know. I assume it's medical or something.
Family Medical Leave Act.
Hmm.
It's supposedly our rights and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that to
That
keep our job.
quote
But
unquote.
yeah,
Supposedly,
Okay.
you can take up, I think, tell me if I'm wrong. I think up to a year of unpaid leave, and they cannot fire you for taking
right.
time off. And it can be for yourself or taking care of another family member. That your job should still be there for up to a
And
year.
there's
But
different
Right, but
things. There's like when you have a flare up and stuff, and then it's kind of, what is it called? Um, uh,
Exacerbation?
no, it's a part of FMLA, but
Short-term
it's
disease or
intermediate.
something?
It's like intermediate. I think that I'm saying that
yeah,
right.
it allows you can sign up for FMLA, but you don't have to take it all at once. As long as
Right.
I get what you're saying. You throughout the year, you can if you need to take like 2 weeks, they can't, hold it against you and fire you, or it protects you and your job. The only thing it doesn't protect is your position. So it guarantees a job for you, but it doesn't protect your position. But most places you go back, you're gonna go to your same position. But yeah, it's like an intermittent FMLA, but
Yeah.
as long as it's good for a year, and then once that year's up, you still need that intermittent FMLA. You just sign up for it again. So that's
Roxanne,
exactly what.
Roxana has made it back. Can you hear us, Roxana?
Yes, my phone it just shut down.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
Did
it
we
got.
just did we discuss everything you wanted to discuss that you were bringing? Is there anything else we can help you with? I know you got cut off, and so we just
Yeah.
make
No, I just pretty much wanted to vent. Thank you for listening.
okay. Well, I think it's a tough spot because like you have your job, you want your job, it's creating anxiety, which then
Mhm.
can worsen your MS. And it's just like, is it worth?
It's-
Is there something you can do to make your job and everything with that with your boss? Can you do anything to make it better, or is it better to cut your losses and find another? It's like there's a lot of things that you have
Yeah,
to
a little
weigh
things.
out, and then
Yeah, unfortunately, she's the very first person after I went to that appointment that I spoke to. And I think it's that vulnerability that you have that made me tell her. I wish I didn't. I didn't tell my sister for a week. It was
mm,
just hard to accept and to believe it. And unfortunately, I told her, and here we are. But thank you, everyone.
and that's a big dilemma. Is like, do you want to tell your work? I when I was working full time, I my coworkers knew, but I didn't actually tell the company it.
Yeah,
But and I
much
kept
better.
everything off of social media, so if I needed to change jobs, it wasn't like out there, and I
Yeah,
wasn't as vocal until I had to leave the workforce. That I was vocal because I didn't want to burn bridges before I got there.
yeah, yeah. If I was asked, I say, don't ever say it.
Um,
Disclosure is a huge thing. Like I'm actually struggling with that right now about to tell like some very old friends that I'm not really in touch with by Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook anymore, but some of them don't even know. And I've been dealing with this now for, I mean, 10 years
Mhm.
officially, but almost 15.
Yeah,
And now I
yeah.
feel like, oh my God, it's been so long. It's going to be ridiculous
Mhm.
to tell them. So, like, when you disclose is such
Yeah,
a complicated personal
yeah,
situation.
it is.
So,
My
yeah.
parents don't know. They don't know yet. And you're right. There's the actual date when you were diagnosed, and then when you actually got it, because I've had many symptoms. I didn't know they were related. I had no idea, so I've had it for about 5 years. hmm
Yeah.
hmm
And then
As a lot of, go ahead, Kim.
Oh, I was gonna say, but then I flipped. So once I was no longer in the workforce and that was no longer a factor, then I became very open and very transparent with people because I felt that I was able to help people understand MS, understand me better. Like, why are you, why are you struggling? And because it's not very easy to see when you see me, does that make like, why are you like barely awake? Like, why are you so fatigued? And so
Yeah.
I flipped, but I had the luxury of that
hmm
when I didn't have a job working full time that could potentially create issues of me being able to
hmm
work. So,
Yeah.
okay, anything else? Or we're gonna head on to the next person because we had a lot of people wanting to talk tonight. Okay, let's head to Christy.
Okay, so what I want to talk about and why I haven't shown myself is because um, I didn't want it to be like a focal point until I started talking. So I'm going to go ahead and show myself. Guess where I am?
Someone's in the
Yay!
hospital.
Yeah, I've been in the hospital now for this is day 14, 13,
Wow.
14, something like that. I was admitted on February 28th, and right now it's just a waiting game with the insurance because um they want to get me over to rehabilitation. Because so I remember I believe I told you guys that I was diagnosed with lymphedema after I got into the wheelchair, and
Yeah.
they put me in like the pumps and stuff like that. Well, I had such bad swelling that the fluid actually wasn't moving, and when it's not moving, it tends to pop out like a big blister. So that I went to the ER for that on the 17th. The ED doctor was like, "Okay, well, um, I I'm gonna give you some antibiotics." They put me on K-Flex and Spectrum, and then so I was on that. Well, the blister ended up popping, and it caused like all these issues. I had pain. I ended up back in the ED on February 28th, and it was like uh, basically what happened is that I had narcosis. Um, that's like bad tissue on the wound. Well, so they started wound care was starting to and during all this, I lost even more weakness. So I got weaker, or not, I didn't lose more weakness. I lost more strength. I got weaker. And so basically, right now, the surgeon basically had to do a bedside surgery wound and ended up being like a hole all the way down to my muscle. That's how much bad tissue there was. So, yeah, so I'm on a wound vac. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's basically it creates uh, negative pressure, and it like during while it's in there, it like regenerates cells and it brings your wound. It basically starts healing it from the outside in. It's really weird because even Steve was like, did he do more debridements? And I was like, no. He's like, why is it a different taste now? And I had to explain to him it kind of sucks everything and brings it closer together. So right now it's a insurance waiting game, and that's why I've been in the hospital for so long, because uh, insurance denied my rehabilitation, and the hospital did a emergency emergency appeal, and that was last Wednesday, and they still haven't responded. So they're keeping me in the hospital because it has to be from hospital to the rehab. So yeah, so I've been in here, and so yeah, it's been fun.
I'm
So
sorry your
that's
insurance company is
that's
being
my
a
life.
bitch.
Yeah,
How
they're being a
frustrating.
butt. Yeah, like the nurses come in, they're like, one of my nurses, she's pregnant. She's doing like 3 months. She's like, she's like, how long have you been in here for? How long have you been here now? And I said, well, it's a total of 14 days. And then I go, if this keeps up, I'm gonna meet your baby soon. She's like, she starts laughing and she goes, I know. It's like I'm gonna become a resident at the hospital.
I don't know how it's cheaper to have you at the hospital than rehab.
No,
I cannot understand this. Like, I would freak out at the pharmacy when they would when they would deny someone's was Lovenox, which is an anticoagulant to prevent for like
hmm
strokes and clots and everything, and the insurance company would deny it. I'm like, what part of a person having a heart attack or stroke is cheaper for you than just giving them the preventative
right?
medication? My mind would blow every time that this I'd have this problem. But I guess,
No,
oh, I guess
yeah, I
to
don't.
risk it.
Yeah, I guess they. I don't know. It's right now. It's blowing my mind as well that they are feeling like, well, let's just keep her in the hospital and maybe they'll give up. No, that's not how that works. How about you just approve the the rehabilitation, and then you know I'll be out of the hospital. But it's they don't care. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. I think my husband was saying the other day. He's like, yeah, last year their profit profit for the year was $11 billion. So them paying the 100,000 or whatever, however much it's costing for me to be here is nothing. And plus, they're not even paying that full amount because they're going to pay what they want to pay. It doesn't mean they're going to pay the actual cost. So they don't care. So, and I was talking to one of the doctors today, and he said, it's at a point where they're probably not responding because they're pigeonholed to approve this request for me to go to rehabilitation because in Colorado there's three you have to meet three qualifications: medical needs and uh, at least two therapy needs. So it could be PT, OT, or speech therapy. And I have the medical need with my wounds, and I need PT and OT to get back some of what I lost. So, and it's like it's just so much easier. So yeah, they um they're just kind of sitting on everything. So it just kind of sucks.
I can't remember, Christy. Do you also have Medicare on top of your private insurance?
No, that doesn't go into effect until middle of August. Because my 2 years is August 16th. So that's something that I've been doing a lot. Like I rewatched the Medicare webinar that that was put on back in October. And I've been doing kind of a little bit of researching, trying to figure everything out. From what I understand, for this year, not till next year, to not be a part of Part C, to just do the original Medicare.
If you want to have more options for treatment, you want to do the old Medicare A and B. If you do C, which is
Hmm.
Advantage, they treat you like an HMO and you might be limited more
Hmm.
to your state. So
Right.
that's how I look at it. So
Well, yeah, and that's from what from what I've been told, is to just stick to Part A and B, and then go to to stay away from C, and if I do want to partake in C, to wait until 2025, because things are supposedly changing for 2025.
and if you did not have medical insurance through Steve, then you would want to get like a Part D for like your medications. But since you have private insurance, you don't need that.
Well, and the thing is that we're going to be dropping me off of Steve's starting January 1, 2025.
Okay. And you
Yeah,
might have to
so
look at getting a supplement then. I'm not sure. That's
yeah, I don't
what's
know. I have a broker, so
okay.
I'll kind of go through all of the different Medicares and what works best, what's going to work best for me and my medical needs. So,
Well, I
but
hope
yeah,
obviously number one is that you recover, as quickly and as best as you can, and that get out of this crappy limbo insurance BS. That makes you feel really loved and and important when they just kind of. I can only imagine your frustration. I would.
right.
Oh, and the anger and.
So, are you leaving now? Oh, okay. Hang on 1 second, guys. Steve is leaving. I'll just do like 30 seconds. Not even that. 15 seconds. One.
Oh, I wanted to say hello to Steve. We,
Steve,
Steve, I just want to say
hold on.
hello he's gone. Will you
No, he's
tell
here.
him?
Give me
He
one
Oh,
can't hear you
second.
because
He's
she's
here.
wearing the earbuds, so he can't hear.
Yeah, I
oh.
gotta disconnect them. 1 second.
Well, you can
So it,
relay. It's okay. You can relay.
okay.
Oh,
Go
now we
ahead,
hear you
Rick.
so much better as well. We do hear you much better. Steve, I just want to say a huge thank you to you, um, because I know you're going to be part of this new care partner group that we're putting together, and I'm just really, really excited, and just so grateful to you, and also to Vicky, Mike's wife, and we've got a couple of other people, and we're just now trying to Alexa's trying to find a date for the training, and then we'll be up and running. And Miss Carmen, we need friends of the house to do the training session. So we're going to need your husband to attend the training session. So when we train the moderators, because we don't want to put these people. We don't want the new moderators to be faced with people that we don't know in case we have to stop and change. So if we can get them, anybody in this group here, if we can get your care partners to join us for the training session, it would be really, really great when we do our
I'll talk
first
to
practice
him.
run.
I'll talk
But
to him if
thank you
that's
so
okay.
much. And
No, thank you.
really, Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, and I look forward to working with you guys and doing this. I think it's a great idea, and I look forward to it.
Well, let me just say that you and Christy were one of the big catalysts to make it happen. So I just, you should know that. I'm just
I appreciate that.
real grateful, real grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad that I can be of assistance.
Thank you.
You
We
guys have
hope
a
you
good
get
night.
your wife sorted quickly. And
Right?
Christy,
Exactly.
Yeah.
just in case you need another broker, Medicare broker, I have a real good one here in Tucson who's licensed in Colorado.
Okay,
Um,
is that the one that was on the webinar?
yes,
Okay. Okay. Would you mind just emailing me his information?
yeah, I will.
Okay.
He's such a nice guy, and um and he's licensed in like 11 states, I'm pretty certain he's licensed in Colorado. I'll just put it down. I'm just making a note to myself, and I'll
Okay.
send it to you tonight or tomorrow. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to ask you about that if he was licensed in Colorado. Because I mean, I just want to not just put all my eggs in one basket. I want to
Sure.
kind of make sure I get the right people because I don't know how well um, the broker I am speaking with knows anything about like all the stuff that I need, you know? And I'm not sure if they would know like the questions to ask on if
Right.
I if I need it or not. So that's just something like I just want to check in other places and not just put all my eggs in one
Sure.
basket.
No,
Mm.
I'll send you his email and telephone number, and just tell
Okay.
him you're an AnCan person as well. But he's been very helpful to a whole bunch of our people all over the country.
Right.
Even if it's a state he doesn't write in, he's really helpful. But as you saw on the webinar, he's really a good guy, and he's
Oh
helpful.
yeah. Yeah, definitely for sure. That's why I was going to ask you if you knew if he was licensed in Colorado. Um,
I'm 99% certain he is.
okay. No worries. I can always find out from him when I contact him.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Rick. Okay. So, yeah, this is all I needed to speak about. It's been really rough for me. That's all I'm going to say. Um, there are, with the wound and everything, it's caused additional spasms because it's right on the backside of my it's not directly on the backside of my calf, but it's like right on the side. Half of it's on the side, and a big majority of the other half is on the backside. So I can't even put my leg straight right now and rest it without like a pillow under it because then I get
How
pain.
how deep was your wound, Christy? Did you say it went to your bone? You were
No, it
little
went
when we
all
were
the
in
way
your
down.
go ahead.
Yeah, it went like what he debrided it was he went all the way down to my muscle. So it measured at 5.8 centimeters
Hmm.
long, and it was 4.3 centimeters wide. So, and it went, I can't remember what the depth was, but yeah, it went pretty much all the way down to my muscle. So it's been fun. So I definitely like now I am more aware that, you know,
with my lymphedema is now causing a new set of problems that I didn't have before I was in the wheelchair, because I was actually mobile and I was able to keep that fluid pumped, like pumping through my limbs. And then once I got in the wheelchair, it just started to slowly swell. Um, and then, it took me going to the wound care because I was getting wounds all over my legs. So now I'm permanently have to wear compression stockings, and I have to do my lymphedema pumps at least at least before bed. So, oh, my battery's about to die. Let me grab my. So it's just a whole new set of problems. It it just I'm just tired. I'm tired of new issues, new problems that are out of my control. So
Christy, I've
it's
said this to other people when they've gotten like that life changing kind of bad news. I'm sorry to hear
mhm.
that, and fuck, that sucks.
Yeah,
Like, you have
it
every right to be angry and all that stuff. Like, oh my gosh, you're going through that ringer.
right, and it's like just like with everything that's happened since the beginning of the year with my, the new changes that I'm going through, because I was just officially diagnosed with the lymphedema like end of October. And, I had it under control. And then I went to Arizona, and traveling always messed with my swelling. And when I came back, I couldn't get it back under control. And of course, I took my pumps with me and I was doing my pumps like I should have been out there, but I was still swelling when I was out in Arizona. And when I got back, I couldn't get it under control. And I started getting like um, sores. And then this happened last month. So it's like it just seems like one thing after another. And I'm like, holy shit! Can I please get a freaking break? Just a break. That's all I'm asking is a break. I'm not asking like not to have issues. I'm asking for a break. It's been back to back to back to back to back issues since uh I would say since I got in my wheelchair. So since the end of 2020 or 2021. I can't even remember the years, but it's been since my wheelchair. It's been nothing but issues. And I'm like, can I please just catch a break for once? One little break. And it's not possible. Apparently it's not possible. So I'm like, whatever, I give up. I'm waving my flag, I'm done. So I just right now, like I've told the doctors and everything, they're like, are you doing okay? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay. I'm like, I'm just here for the ride. That's it. I'm just here for the ride. I can't change anything. And of course, I want to get into rehab because I feel that's going to be best rather than only having, you know, physical therapy or anything like once a week for 45 minutes. So I know and they're going to work with me on my wheelchair and how to, uh, like energy conservation, stuff like that. So I've really gotten excited about going to rehab to hopefully fix this issue that I, at least start to fix, because even though through rehab, when I get done with that, I then have to pick up outpatient therapy. So I don't know. I'm just needing more than just once a week for 45 minutes to get me on the track of where I need to go. So, but yeah, that's my current story, my recent news, and so
Well, Christy, sending you strength, girl. I know it can't be
thank
easy,
you.
so just we're with you in spirit, hon.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah,
I'm glad you were able to make it tonight, Christy. I know that I think you were helpful to Corey in his questions about all the leg shaking and things like that. It's like, oh, Christy's
right.
here. She knows what this is like.
Yeah, all too well. And so, and I was thinking I lowered my baclofen pump too low, but now that I think about it, I think it was the infection because prior to the because it's diagnosed as cellulitis. Um, but prior to that, I had a lot of like redness in my legs and like in my feet. They almost looked purple. And yeah, it was bad. And then the wound popped out. But yeah, so I was having a lot of issues and it was causing spasms. And I was just like, I was so mad. I was like, maybe I just lowered it too much and all this stuff. And I was like, well, I have my um, my appointment for my baclofen pump refill on March 15th. So I'll just wait till then. I can tough it out. And then like all of this happened and I ended up in the ER and then I got admitted and they were doing IV antibiotics because when I left the ED, they gave me the orals and he was like, the doctor, um, after I got admitted, he's like, he shouldn't have given you orals. He's like, you were too swollen for it to even take effect. So he's like, you should have been on IV antibiotics. So they had me on the IV antibiotics for roughly about a week. And then they switched me over to the orals. Um, and then my white blood cells count dropped dramatically. So then they took me off the orals and now it's back up. So I was just like, oh gosh. So yeah, it's been quite the whirlwind these last couple of weeks.
A
And
lot
I'm
of
just
things to process and try to make sense of, and feeling like you don't have control or what is the control, and just, yeah,
hmm
I hear
yeah,
you.
for sure. This has humbled me. I will say that. And I've been in the hospital for this long and usually I'm itching to get out. But this time I'm like, I'm just gonna stay here and it is what it is till it is. And it's just like that's just my outlook right now. It is what it is till it is.
Well, it is nice to see a smile on your face, and you still have your
Yeah.
sense of humor, so
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and I feel bad because I've missed so many support groups, but I haven't been feeling good. So I was like, I had my notification that support group was in a half hour. And I was like, I told him, I go, babe, I have to do the support group tonight. He's like, you do? I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm actually feeling better, you know? So he was like, all right. He's like, well, I'll go home. I was like, you don't have to go home. I was like, I'll put my earbuds in, and I don't know why they're so like weak as far as I mean they're brand new earbuds, so AirPods, whatever. So, but either way, so he was on listening to his thing, and I had my earbuds in, and you know, so it worked out. And he's been coming here every night after work And then on the weekends, he's here all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Oh, and I'm getting a hospital bed. So,
For home?
because, yeah, because it's just the bed that we have. It's just so hard for me to get into it because it's a lot taller. So, um, the hospital bed will be very beneficial for me. Um, so yeah, and it'll have a air mattress type that kind of adjusts like forms with your weight. So
Yeah.
it's it's like a negative pressure
Mhm.
to avoid wounds. So I'm all good with that. So, but yeah, other than that, that's just been my life for the past 2 weeks, and I'm, just dealing with it, surviving.
I'm glad you're receiving good care, though.
Yeah, I've got an amazing team here at the hospital that definitely is continuously, daily, day in, day out, um, trying to get everything resolved with the insurance company. So, oh, Jennifer, I was gonna say I love the short hair. I haven't seen you in forever, so it's like I just
Girl,
love
I
the
know.
short hair. It looks,
I was like, is that the Christy
huh?
that like I haven't seen for a while?
Right? I'm here. I'm still kicking.
I donated it, so there's another redhead running around.
Ah, nice. I usually donate mine. Like, I just got a haircut and my hair was so long. I couldn't handle it anymore. But it wasn't long enough to donate, but long enough to irritate the shit out of me. So I was like, cut it,
I'm
get rid of it. But
I'm
yeah,
donating my beard this week.
Mhm.
are you?
Well, I'm getting really clipped. It's not long enough. It's only about 5 inches, but I'm donating it to like I don't know the birds that are trying to build nests.
Oh,
Sweet of
okay.
you, John. Sweet of you, John.
Yeah. They need
The
the
materials.
softness and material as well,
I
you
like it how
know?
you recycle back to the world. I like that, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we still have John and Mike to talk tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and take it over to
Okay.
John
Sorry,
since he's
guys.
East Coast
Oh no,
time and it's
Chris.
getting late for him.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to Mike.
Um. So I have a couple of like scary things to talk about, but Roxana, don't worry. I always bring something positive, and
Okay.
today's positives are going to be very, very positive. So the down thing is one of my great friends from high school who also has MS. His baclofen pump went a little bit nuts, and his wife sent me a video of him sitting in his chair, and it kicking hard enough that he fell out of his wheelchair 3 times. Or like he also like pulled it over halfway because he was belted in. Um, so they spent the weekend at University of Michigan where his pump was put in, and he's doing better now. But holy scary seeing a friend have that happen. Especially a friend since high school. So I was just like, oh my god, that looks so bad and that's so scary. He's like, yeah, it happens. He's the most it happens guy I know. He's that way in high school too. Um, fun, happy news. I'm graduating from PT next week. I'm taking a 2 month break because what I've learned in PT, I can transfer to OT very well now. So I'm on an 8-week course for OT, and for the past 2 weeks, I've been doing them back to back, and that makes for a really tired and sore John for a couple days, you know. Um, but so far, I've been able to take the plastic cups out of the dishwasher they have there while standing, and then while seated, no, I was standing, put them up on a cupboard. So it's just like all the sit stands that I've done now make sense because I'm able to twist and do that kind of stuff to put the dishes away. So that's like a really good skill that I want to get back. Um, I've been putting my own socks on lately, which is another big thing. And we're going to get to in the end of the 8 weeks. I'm going to be able to put on my pants myself while standing. I've been able to get in and out of the bed that they have there, and it's at the height that my bed is at. And today was my hardest session yet, where I was standing and using a grabber to pick up plastic rings off the ground. So I'm one-handing it with the grabber, and like I got like 5 really easily, but then I started like getting confident and cocky and started just kind of pushing them around. So that was a really awesome thing
That
that
is
happened.
skill, John.
What's that?
That is skill.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Pretty
my
damn amazing.
my OT is like 5'11" and built like a brick shit house. Okay, he was like a linebacker kind of a guy. He had a TheraBand around my knees and was pulling behind me as I wheeled forward in my chair. He said, "This is your carpet training." And then we measured how many like wheelchair pushes I have to do in a mile to do my MS walk. So OT's been really, really good to me. And I really like it because I'm seeing that I can do things,
Hmm.
you know? Um, today's pick stuff up off the ground exercise was a 10-pound medicine ball up here, slowly take it down all the way to the ground, touch it, like don't put it down, but just touch it, and then I'm back up. That was crazy. I was sweating so hard. Whew. But it's good for me. I like that confidence build.
That's a lot
That's
And
of
amazing.
great.
thank you. It needs to happen, because I'm having a lot of updates happening to my home this summer to make it more accessible. Um,
Hmm.
so I will be using my wheelchair more around the house and hoping to be able to stand and do this kind of stuff. And speaking of the house, I signed a $96,000 contract yesterday for the renovations.
Congrats.
Very nice.
Yeah. And uh, Roxana, my wife is a college professor, and we
Mhm.
pay a lot of money for insurance. So out of that 93, insurance is covering like 65. All right.
Wow.
Um, but it's a one-time benefit for my insurance. Like we had to do everything all at once. It was not like well, we'll do this next year.
Mhm.
Um, and for the remaining money, the $35,000 that we need, we got the rest of that money today.
Aw,
Very nice.
So I'll
nice.
be able to
That's
give them a
awesome.
down payment, and then we go to like the local wood, and not like a Home Depot, but kind of like a local one,
Yeah.
where they have a list of all the things that we need to pick out, like a vanity and blah 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 blah. And I've never like shopped for faucets, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Exciting.
they're just doing a lot. A lot of what we're paying for is just extra stuff that we're getting while they're here.
Mm.
Like they would cover 2 push pads to open doors, and so we got like a third one. Um, they're putting another doorway in my bedroom that goes to like a 5x5 and then a ramp down. Well, we said they're here. Let's have them put a deck on. So we'll have a
Hmm.
straight walk to new French doors. Again, something that we're paying extra for. And then that will go onto our deck, which is not there. Again, paying extra for, and then a ramp down to the patio in our side yard. So it's doing a lot of things that make me very happy,
That's amazing.
and it's about to start. And is it going to be tough? Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
existing while that's happening. But I just think about rolling underneath my like low sink and
Mm-hmm.
brushing my teeth.
Yes.
It, I can I can definitely say that is the most amazing feeling because you guys remember I had my bathroom remodeled
Yeah.
and you know they put when they redesigned everything they put the lower ADA height sink
Yep.
and it's a roll-in under sink and
Oh, that's nice.
before I was brushing my teeth but I was spitting into a cup.
Yep. I've been there.
And yeah, and then
Mm-hmm.
I had another cup to rinse. You know, now it's, you know, I've got a sink low enough that I can brush my teeth, spit in the
Yeah.
sink. You know, it's pretty
One
so
one last addition that they're putting on, and then I got to go because it's like late at night, and I did a lot of PTOT
yeah,
today. And then they're also putting in a ceiling track that will go from over top of my bed. You know, Hoyer lift me into the bathroom,
yeah,
Oh,
and I'm
that's
super excited
awesome.
about that. And
yes.
because I can't control myself, I asked the builder, "Can we get that rated up to like 1,000 pounds?"
Mm.
And he looked at me. He's like, "Why?" And I looked at my wife, looked back at him, and gave him a wink. He's like, "No, no, we're not setting that up. That's no." But it was it took him a minute, but it was really funny.
Yeah.
I need to hold
That's
two
funny.
people. Come on, two
Good one,
people.
Yeah,
John.
like
Good
two.
one. Love it.
All right, friends, I'm going to take off so
All
I
right.
can spread everything out, take all my nighttime medicines, and just be
Yeah.
excited to be in bed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have a good
Roxanne, it
Good
was
night.
a
night,
pleasure to meet you. It
John.
was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Those were some
Oh,
great meals.
please come back. We'll see you then, everyone.
Absolutely.
All right. Good night, John.
Great.
John.
Before we get to Mike, I just want to say hello to Louie. Welcome.
Hi, yeah, they're gone.
Did you have
My,
anything you wanted to talk to tonight, Louie? We still have Mike that needs to talk, but did you need to talk tonight too?
no, I was just surprised y'all are still on. I'm always really, really late, so,
We had a lot of ground to cover, a lot of people talking tonight, so we're glad you're here. But you're here in time for Mike to tell us what all happened. So
nice, nice.
Well, I know we're running out of time, so I made a bullet point list here. Um, but lately, I could feel my mind going, my concentration. Been diagnosed with what they call executive function impairment. That goes back 3, 4 years. And in early January, I had an evaluation at Mayo, and they compared it to my evaluation in 2020, and immediately, immediately, my doctor called, psychologist called, psychiatrist called. They're calling me, say, "Get your butt in here. There's something going on. We need to get our hands on it." And uh, I just my own research, and I'm not talking Alzheimer's or anything, but it was pretty scary stuff that came up. And they told me, "Oh no, don't do your own. Don't. We don't like it when patients Google everything." And uh, one thing I did find was Lewy body syndrome, Lewy body disease or something.
oh, Louie Body. Louie Body.
Yeah, Lewy body.
Dementia. Yeah, Lewy body dementia.
That's where protein gets stuck in your brain and clumps up and things can't get through. um, and, and a psychiatrist offered that, and I knew all about it. So I thought that was a small victory for doing your own research. Anyway, um, uh, my MRIs are from 6 years ago to 6 months ago, and they're pretty stable. Um, uh, they want me to get a PET scan so they can figure out if my declining brain size and everything is related to MS or related to something else. And we're all pretty sure it's MS, but they can rule out anything else. Um, Forgive me, Kim.
Problem.
I have my own notes. Um, well, Mayo, the steps they would take if I'm pretty sure I'm declining mentally and cognitively. You start building your team, your caregiver, Rick, and doctors, so on and so forth. But there is a plan, and have told me all steps of the plan. But over the next couple of visits to Scottsdale, I'm sure that they will come up with a written plan how I can best deal with all that. And this pretty much wraps it up for me. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you. I was gonna say, so they got rid of your fears of dementia. It sounds like they ruled that out for you.
Alzheimer's, yes. Dementia, we're all going to get dementia. I hope everyone lives long enough to get dementia, but then not too much longer. Um, yeah, they ruled out really scary stuff and came up with Lewy Body and stuff like that, which threw me a curve, but life goes
So they
on.
have not ruled out Lewy body, or they're saying it is Lewy
No,
body.
no, it could be.
Oh, so they said that Lewy body is still a possibility.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I know a little bit about Lewy bodies because I've known people who have had it, and they thought my mother had Lewy bodies, although um, she was 92 at the time. But shortly before she passed away, they determined it may have been a brain cancer, so it isn't clear that she had Lewy bodies. But Lewy bodies is very strange because what happens most often with Lewy bodies, I say most often, I think that's true, is that you lose um, you you lose your awareness of where you are right now, and you move into another reality that it may exist for an hour or 2 hours or what have you. And then at that point, you come back and you recognize you're in your own reality, the real reality, but you forget where you've just been. So, for example, in my mother's case, she would think she was in her house in Spain when she was actually in London for like a couple of hours. and she would talk to people as if she was in her house in Spain. And then when she came out of it, she had no recollection of that other than she'd sort of had a turn and something had happened for that period of time. That's different from dementia or Alzheimer's, where you're in a continuous state of this alternate reality. So that's some of what I know, and it's very common in Parkinson's. So Parkinson's and Lewy bodies go hand in hand, and that was what Robin Williams had. He suffered from Lewy bodies, and I guess it drove him nuts to the point where he took his own life. But Lewy bodies is specific and different. I mean, it's a type of dementia, but it's different from dementia or Alzheimer's or what have you, if that is at all helpful.
Mike, I just wanted to say I'm so happy to hear that it sounds like you have a really good medical team and that they're giving you good information, but also helping you to make a plan and talking about that with you and your partner or family, whatever. So I'm sending you strength, and I hope that it all goes smoothly for you.
Thank you, Carmen. Yeah, I feel, and my wife feels much better about Mayo than maybe they were putting stuff in my patient portal, like don't forget to make an appointment with this guy or that guy. And I never looked at my patient portal. So when I called to make an appointment with my doctor, they said, well, hang on, you get some other stuff you have to do first. And that's what got the ball rolling. Now I know to look in my patient portal for messages from Mayo, about treatment, prescriptions, whatever. Just something that everybody should do, even if whoever your medical supplier is, doctors. Uh, you know, we want to be our own best advocate, and I found out that I had dropped the ball by not looking into them. So, lesson learned.
It's just as well I bought you that T-shirt, isn't it?
I know. Thank you, Rick.
I think that also the really good thing that you brought up, Mike, was the fact that you had a baseline done, the neuropsych test you took, so it was easier for them to compare on how much you changed. And I just think I would advise everyone, if you have any issues with cognition, to, if you can, get the baseline of the neuropsych test so you can see how much is changing when you're like, ah, something's not right. It gives them a better comparison for later on.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's golden advice. Golden advice. And for all the people who listen to this podcast, to this recording through YouTube, please make a note of that. That is so huge, Kim. Thank you for pointing that out.
And then,
You know,
go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, most of you know, most of the support work that I do is in the prostate cancer space. And we always stress with fellas that go on hormone therapy that they've got to take their testosterone before they start so they know their baseline. Because once they start the testosterone, the ADT, they don't get a true reading. So that baseline is so important, Kim. Thank you.
I think
Before I, Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it's prevalent with no matter what you're facing. Because honestly, if I didn't have my baseline with my MS and all my medical records of the changes throughout the years, they wouldn't have been able to put me on disability as quickly as they did. So I'm just saying, no matter what, it's good to have that baseline and that start, and to make sure that you have enough medical record that they can, whoever it is, can return back to the beginning and kind of look at everything throughout the years or however long. So
That's
that's
an
all I had to say.
excellent point, Christy, because Social Security, when they're trying to figure out disability, they assume if you're not seeing a doctor, then you're doing okay, not because you can't afford it, and that's why you didn't go to the doctor, you know? That's why you're
Right.
having holes in your healthcare because you can't afford it. But yeah, you need to create a record and things so it's easier for them to see the changes and the patterns and things like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I just feel
Uh,
like no matter what you do, you should have a beginning to current so that it's easily easily looked at when it needs to be. So that's it. I'll stop now.
Our meeting is in 2 weeks on the 26th. And then I just wanted to put a fun thing in. I went to a concert at Minneapolis on Wednesday, heavy metal concert, and I was super excited about the accessibility there. So they had a whole area for accessibility, and it was at the back, but it was raised so people could sit on leather couches and be able to see and not have their line of sight be not be able to see because the people in front of them was standing up, and it was a sold out. It was like 3,200 people, and so they're just like squished like sardines. And with a heavy metal concert, there's lots of moshing, and then there's lots of crowd surfers. So it's very important to keep everyone safe. You don't want people with balance issues or using a walker and getting smacked around. And then they also had a person that was signing next to the stage. We had an American Sign Language person, and they're not like just signing, they are like rocking out and signing. They were having an amazing, this gal was having so much fun. And the headliner band, the singer actually, between songs, stopped and pointed out how amazing she was and how they loved having the whole concert accessible for everybody. And to show up and to see an American Sign Language person at a heavy metal concert and to have a whole section for accessibility that was being used, I was like, I'm still just like on the verge of tears. Like it was like, oh my god, we're getting voices. We are making progress in some places of the world. I
Love
didn't
that.
think I didn't think a heavy metal concert venue would be more accessible than my hospital, but we got to start somewhere. So,
I love
uh,
it. I
anyway,
love
I was just totally blown away. So it was the venue was Myth Live in St. Paul, Minnesota. But anyway, I just had to put out there that I was just, and there was people in the accessibility area, and to see her signing the entire. I should be able to sign some cuss words because she had to say it so many times, but I still don't know them. I'm sorry. But she signed everything. She had the you could see that she had sheets of paper with all the lyrics on it, and then whatever they were talking, she signed everything, and it was just so much fun to have that and to see
I
people
love
enjoy.
that.
And it just brought me so much joy because, as you're aware, I'm really into the accessibility issue. We fought so hard, and people, Frank and Jen, they go and talk to the Capitol and everything, and really work with the lawmakers, and just to see like some of the progress was very exciting to me. So now I have people they can go to heavy metal shows and feel comfortable. And oh, who did I see? It was for Mike. Mike's a heavy metal person, not me. The headliner was Beartooth. So mostly, yeah, they're not mainstream like Metallica or Slayer or anything like that. So, but they're I think they might be an Ohio band. I'm not sure. Anyway, I just want to throw that out there at the end of the night. I hope to see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Can
else
we
that? Go ahead.
Yeah, can we just, Roxana,
Yeah.
before you leave, please, either go to our website, ancan.org. Kim will put it in the chat window right now for you, ancan.org, and
Yeah.
sign up for a reminder, or you can send me or Kim a message with your email address so we can put you on the reminder list so you'll get a reminder for next meeting. And we hope you enjoyed the meeting.
I did. Thank you so much. It was great. Thank you. It was awesome.
Okay.
I'm so
Okay.
glad everybody was able to make it tonight. Whenever
Mhm.
you're able to come in, it was great. We had a lot of ground to cover. We had a lot of people, a lot of ground to cover. We made it through. I try to work hard to get everybody in, but it's I won't want to shut people off when we need to talk. So, but we got through everybody. So very grateful. So.
Okay. Well, we'll see you. When are we back? Let me look.
26, 2 weeks,
26.
26.
Thank you, Miss Kim. We're
Yep.
back on the 26th, same time, same place. And now, and by the way, Miss Jennifer, now I know why you look so glam, because you got a new haircut. That's what it is. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. I see that come on, and she looks like real glam. And I'm saying, what's going on? And it's the new haircut. Oh, it looks great. It looks wonderful.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
E- Even without the red glasses. Okay.
Bye,
Where are the
guys.
red glasses?
Well, they're right here.
Yes.
Hold on a minute. Let's do this.
Okay. Okay. We
Let's
get one